In this video, I'm going to share with you what I did over these past 16 years, or the first 16 years initially, that didn't work, and then move to tell you what actually does work in order to heal sciatica. Initially, I was doing what everybody else was doing, the generic exercises, the press-ups, the clams, the cat-cow, the knee rocks from side to side, the hamstring stretches, the piriformis stretches, the IT band stretches, and the hip flexor stretches, along with core stabilization. Not necessarily in that order, but I was generally doing those generic exercises, which you can look up and find on Google under generic back or generic sciatic exercises. They did not work very effectively. I'll be honest, I probably helped anywhere from 10 to 15% of my clients. They thought I was a miracle worker, but it was that other 90% of clients that just weren't getting the relief that they needed. I was also using electrical stimulation, other TENS type of units, doing traction, doing heat, doing massage and soft tissue work. And guess what? My clients would actually feel better when they were walking out of my clinic, but by the time they got out of their car, or sometimes even into their car before they even left, their symptoms would start coming back. And most of my clients were repeat offenders in that their symptoms would go away, but then the next time that they would have a flare-up, it would either last longer or be more intense. So if that sounds like you, keep listening, because I have some hope to give you, because there is a way to defeat sciatica for good. I also have had clients who have used the medical creams, the rub-on icy hot type things, and Bengay, along with medications, injections, radiofrequency ablations. All those things may give you some short-term relief, but they're not going to heal your sciatica. One thing that I always caution my clients on is if you're using a TENS unit, or if you've had the injection, or if you're on medications and your symptoms seem like they've calmed down, please don't be fooled that you are healed and go ahead and do things that you normally couldn't do without the medications in you, because basically you are going to be aggravating the problem further without realizing it, because your symptoms are simply masked. All those things that I talked about, a TENS unit, any type of cream, any type of medication, injections, all of those things are passive treatment approaches, meaning you don't have to do anything to get the short-term relief, but that's all you're going to be getting is short-term relief, because it takes active participation and understanding what you're doing in order to calm down your symptoms and get your body in a position to heal, no matter what the underlying cause is, whether it's an SI joint problem, whether it's a disc issue, whether it's a bony issue. Your nerve is being impinged or aggravated, whether mechanically or chemically in your body, and that's what causes the sciatica. So what we want to do is we want to focus on getting your body healed by having you participate in doing the right activities, avoiding the wrong activities, doing the right exercises and avoiding the wrong exercises, along with doing breathing techniques and different things to calm down your central nervous system so your body is in an optimal position and condition to heal. So as I said before, if you are getting temporary relief with a TENS unit, with radiofrequency ablation, with an injection or any type of medication, please, for your sake, don't go back to doing normal activities thinking that you're healed. Go back into them slowly and steadily to make sure what you're doing is not aggravating the problem. I hope that makes sense. So let me tell you, about 16 years ago, I took a course that taught me that your body is a master at compensating for pain. And what that means is when your body has any type of pain, tightness, stiffness, soreness, discomfort, anything out of the ordinary going on, the body's natural response will be to compensate for itself, because your body wants to protect the area of the problem, but at the same time, your body wants to try to minimize the pain that's going on and allow you to function. And I always use this example. Think of somebody walking around on a bad sprained ankle. Their body is moving around in a sort of herky-jerky motion where their head, their neck, their shoulders are all moving out of sync and out of normal. Because what's happening is the area around their ankle is tightening up to try to help avoid any further damage. And while it's doing that, the rest of the body is compensating for what those muscles can't do and compensating, trying to move away from the pain to get to the other side of the body. So your body isn't moving in a nice, smooth movement, or at least in your normal walking pattern. It's having to compensate. That means these muscles over here are pulling here. These muscles here are pulling there, obviously exaggeratedly. I'm showing it to you so you understand. But what all that does, it causes imbalances throughout your body, right side versus left side. And when I'm talking about imbalances, I'm not talking about balancing on one foot, being able to be stable. I'm talking about muscular imbalances, right side versus left side. All that extra physical tension and stress from the muscles and the tendons pulling abnormally cause extra tension in the area that's protecting the body. So let's say, and let's go to a low back issue or a SI issue or a butt issue. The muscles on the side of the problem are typically going to be more tight, which is going to cause your pelvis to either rotate forward, rotate up, rotate back. So you don't really have a pelvis issue, you've got a muscular imbalance issue. And now when all those extra muscles are overcompensating, overworking while some are underworking, it's going to cause extra stress through your body that doesn't allow the area around the injury to relax and heal. Okay? Hope that makes sense. So the first thing that I learned is when you have pain, say you have tightness and pain in your right gluteal, what do we do as physical therapists? We want to massage it. We tell you to roll on a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, a softball, a golf ball, foam roll it out, stretch it, because we want to take those muscles that are tight and stiff and pull on them to make them tighter and hope that that calms it down. And what I learned is that typically doesn't work. Although, like I said, 10 to 15% of my clients generally got relief for some reason. And I was so happy for that, but I was just realizing that 85 to 90% of my clients who weren't getting relief was my responsibility. And I don't know if you've ever heard a medical professional apologize for doing things wrong, but I want to apologize for the way we are taught to attack that area that's tight, stiff, and sore by digging on it, stretching on it, and pulling on it, because many of you who are probably still watching this have experienced that. And even though you might have got a temporary relief from it, you didn't get the long-lasting relief that you deserve. So one of the keys that I have learned is we want to find where those imbalances are in your body from those compensations that is protecting your body. We want to find where those imbalances are and fix those imbalances, because once we do, if we take those areas that are tense and out of balance and relax it, guess what happens to the area that is protecting the actual area where the problem is? Those muscles that are protecting no longer have to protect as much, and they start to relax. When they start to relax, you get normal blood flow, you get normal nerve conduction, you start to put your body in a position to actually heal. So step number one in what I've been using over the past 16 years with amazing success for my clients, step number one is we want to balance out the imbalances in your body so that we're putting your body in a position and a condition to heal. We also want to teach you, or actually you will probably have to teach yourself and learn this yourself, because I want you to take an active approach in your healing and not depend on me for everything, even though we'll be teaching you along the way. We want you to recognize what movements, positions, and activities aggravate your pain. And if you want to remember that in a mnemonic, what amps up my pain? What activity, movement, position, AMP, what activity, movement, and position amps up my pain? Because if I continue to amp up my pain, it doesn't matter what treatment approach you use. If you continue to aggravate and amp up your pain, your symptoms will not go away for the long term. I hope that makes sense. All right. Now, once we put your body in an optimal position to heal and you're more balanced, then it's time to work on the core stability that everybody says, if you have a stronger core, you won't have back problems. And I just want to tell you this emphatically. There's no direct or indirect correlation for anybody that the stronger your core, the less your pain. The weaker your core, the more your pain. There's no direct or indirect correlation. Studies have proven that over and over. I've had clients who were bodybuilders with amazing core strength, but they had back pain and sciatica. I've had people who couldn't hold a straight leg raise and had absolutely no core strength yet they never suffered back pain in their life. So I want you to get out of your head that if I strengthen my core, my pain will lessen. But what I can tell you is if your body is balanced and you start to stabilize that body in a balanced position, you are going to hold yourself in a position for your body to heal. And it's never a bad thing to have a stronger core. Does that make sense? And the one thing I also want to mention is if you're in pain and you're doing core strengthening exercises, please be alert to the fact that if your body is in pain, that means your body is out of balance just because of the way your body will be protecting itself and compensating for itself. And if you are doing core stabilization or any type of strengthening exercises with your body out of balance, you are going to be reinforcing those imbalances in your body and holding yourself in a position that's less than ideal to heal. So please, if you're doing the clam exercises, the bridging, the abdominal isometrics, and the different exercises that build up your core and build up your glutes and build up your strength, if you're in pain, please note that you may just be reinforcing abnormal muscle patterns and imbalances in your body and holding them there, which is not a good idea for long term. So after we get your body balanced, after we get you stabilized, that's when we move into getting back into your normal routine. And we do this slowly and wisely because I don't want somebody who's got a nerve that's on its way to healing to go back to the gym and do 20 exercises or 20 different types of exercises the first time they go back thinking, I'm feeling great, I can get back into my routine. And here's why. If you get back to doing things too quickly and too many things at one time, your body will respond. And if you flare your symptoms up, we are not going to know which exercise, which movement, which position, which activity it was that aggravated your pain. So if you start going back slowly and doing things one, maybe two at a time, getting into your normal routine, getting into your normal exercises, will at least have a fighting chance to know, it was doing the laundry this way. It was doing the bench press or the leg extensions this way. I hope that makes sense. So you want to get back to doing things slowly and wisely. Let me tell you about a couple clients who we have worked with in the past who tried everything the old way of doing things and the generic way of doing things. I have a friend, his name is Vikas. He is in his mid to upper 20s now, but for 7 years, he had dealt with back pain with some sciatica. He was told by every doctor, specialist, every PT, every chiropractor, there's nothing more that they can do. And he was basically left with foam roll, your painful leg, your painful glute, and your back. Also, do a lot of stretches and use the TENS unit quite a bit. But his doctors and his specialists actually told him, because of your injuries, you are never going to be pain-free again. You're not going to be able to do the exercises and the sports that you had once done. And he went out and spent tens of thousands of dollars over these 7 years because he didn't want to accept it. By the way, these injuries were due to one big motor vehicle accident and then numerous other smaller accidents after that. So here he has spent tens of thousands of dollars going to kinesiologists, chiropractors, PTs, every specialist in his area, whether it was a medical doctor or a kinesiologist. He was doing everything he possibly could. And we met and I introduced him to my program and how we work. And he was very reluctant when I told him, hey, you know what? Because you're stretching the painful side, because you're doing all the activities on your painful side, you are aggravating the problem further, and you are not going to be calming down your symptoms for any long-term relief because you're just aggravating what's already aggravated by working the muscles that are injured and irritated, and you're just irritating them further. So he was a little reluctant, but he started in my program, and within 8 weeks, guess what? He was back to going to the gym. He was totally pain-free. He was shocked, in awe, and so grateful all at the same time because now he is living his life fully with no pain simply by changing up the activities that he was doing, the wrong exercises, and going through balancing his body, then stabilizing his body, then getting back into his normal routine. And I think of Amy, who was in Maryland. She had had pain for 10 years on and off. And like everybody else, her PTs, her chiropractors, her specialists told her to roll on that painful side with a tennis ball and a golf ball. She told me she was always looking for a place to sit down when she was on a walk with her family, whether it be in a park or whether it just be around the house. She said doing the dishes, carrying the laundry up and down the steps were brutal. She actually often asked her kids for help with her activities just simply because it was too much pain for her. She had told me she had tried multiple PTs, chiropractors, every type of medication, injections. She was doing yoga, having massages, and she told me she was living on anti-inflammatory for 10 years, which is so totally unhealthy for your insides, even though it's giving some relief so she can actually function. All of those things, she said, maybe gave her some temporary relief. And she said after going through my program, after working things first to balance, then to stabilize, and then getting back into a routine slowly, she told me that her family started noticing. She didn't have to sit down on walks. She was able to attend sporting events with her husband going up and down bleachers, up and down steps without having to take pauses every few steps. Her kids started noticing she was able to stand and cook and do the dishes longer, able to bring the laundry up and down the stairs, and just doing normal things around the house without needing help. And her life was changed dramatically. And that's after 10 years of doing the wrong treatments. So now that you learned what I did that shifted my treatment approach, there are still 5 mistakes that people make which makes their sciatica worse. So if you want to learn more what those things are, please check out the video popping up on your screen now and listen to what we have to say.